is going on, everybody? It is I, the franchise, here with another installment of Wrestle Talk with the franchise. This is part one of two. It's part one of two because obviously this past week there was no Wrestle Talk with the franchise, so there's a lot to dive into. This part is just the recap of Bash in Berlin that took place Saturday at the Uber Arena in Berlin. So this is just part one of it. And then obviously part two, we'll talk about all the other stuff that's going on in wrestling. I mean, we have AEW All In that took place. Now this will be 2 weeks ago. We have All Out taking place this upcoming weekend. We have NXT No Mercy taking place today, Sunday, but this will be dropping on Monday. So I will briefly talk about No Mercy in the second half. We're also going to talk about Rikishi and his comments that he made recently, and the highly anticipated documentary that is dropping this month. I cannot believe that we're in September already, but the highly anticipated Netflix documentary, Mr. McMahon. So we're going to be talking about all of that in the second half. But this first part is all about Bash in Berlin. This premium live event was the first in a very long time. They haven't been to Germany in a very long time. Like I said, I believe they talked about, Cody Rhodes was speaking about it during his press conference. They was alluding to how Bret Hart loved going to Germany to be a part of these events. And it was another solid premium live event. This also, which is very surprising to me, was the highest grossing arena show in WWE history. Okay. The WWE continues to break records, set records, all types of stuff. And it just continues to show that, not just, and I don't want to just say WWE is booming, but wrestling in a whole is booming. Whether you are a fan of AEW, you're a fan of TNA, you're a fan of MLW, New Japan, whatever. But the forefront, the leader of the boom is obviously WWE. I mean, 55 sellouts in 2024. I was about to say 2025, but 2024, 55 sellout shows, unheard of. And it's just a tip to the cap to WWE, to TKO, Paul Levesque, Triple H, everyone that has done their share to make wrestling the it thing again. So another solid show at Bash in Berlin. I didn't see it live. Well, I caught the last two matches live. So after I got home last night, I watched the first three matches. And it was indeed a solid show. We know that right now, Gunther is the present. Gunther is the future. Gunther is it right now. The man put on a clinic. Him and Randy Orton put on a wrestling clinic yesterday, 30 minutes roughly. And there's no other thing that I can say about Gunther that we haven't regurgitated in the past. Like, we haven't said in the past. He is literally one of the best in the business right now. CM Punk, CM Punk got his bracelet back. Finally, the man finally got his bracelet back. We have new women's tag team champions, and the Terror Twins get a little bit of revenge on the Judgment Day. You know how we do it here at Wrestle Talk. We break down our recaps and categories: match of the night, OMG moment, feel good, and performer of the night. So, match of the night. I'm going to be honest with you. And I know I've said this in the past. It's kind of hard. I can't really. The whole card, even the women's tag team match, was great. In the past, I've said, maybe one or two matches always tied, but the whole card from the opening match to the main event was a solid performance from everybody on. Okay. And that's a first for me to say that the whole card was an incredible lineup. Like, it was. So that was my match of the night. OMG moment. I really didn't have an OMG moment because, I really did not have that oh my God moment. It wasn't a spot or something that just made me go, oh God. None of that happened. But that's not a bad thing. But the feel-good moment, Gunther, the local country hero, gets a standing ovation, was over with the crowd. Gunther's just, like I said earlier, Gunther is just it. At the end of his match with Randy Orton, them two showed a sign of respect. Got to give Randy Orton his props. And I have to say this, the 8K footage of Randy Orton's entrance was just, I'm a geek for videos and presentation and the look of it. And watching Randy Orton come out in that 8K shot, and they only do it for certain people. They only do it for certain individuals, like certain entrances they do that with. I would have thought they would have did it with Gunther, but no. Randy Orton coming out with that 8K shot, incredible. And then there is something that I was looking at his entrance, and I couldn't help but to sit there and think, as I'm listening, obviously Randy Orton's theme music is by far one of the top probably 10 greatest theme musics of all time. And as I'm listening to the lyrics and I'm looking at Randy Orton, something was telling me like those voices like that they speak on in his video or in his theme music is probably actually talking to him right now. And I don't know if that is maybe the beginning of what we all want to see, is the heel turn, the turn where he turns on Cody. But I don't know. It's just something about the way Randy was looking that just had me feel like win, lose, or draw, this will be the beginning of that turn for Randy. I don't know. I'm going to get more into Randy Orton later when we talk about Cody Rhodes. But what is next for the Ring General? What is next for Gunther? Well, I know that when they were overseas in Europe and they were doing their European tour, I believe it was during Raw or leading up to that Raw last week, Gunther and Dragunov main evented a house show in Europe and was over as all hell. So are we going to possibly get Gunther versus Dragunov as his next opponent? Could it be CM Punk? Because we know after CM Punk's match against Drew McIntyre, he was backstage and he said, my attention and my focus is now on the world title. That's what I want. But we all know that ain't going to happen. Drew McIntyre is going to have something to say and do about that, because as we all know, they are going to have their trilogy, and the trilogy is going to conclude at Bad Blood. I'm thinking it's going to be a Hell in a Cell, because they are honoring the first Hell in a Cell at Bad Blood between Undertaker and Shawn Michaels. So I think that we may actually see that take place as well. And the best performer, I just was talking about him, and that is CM Punk. His first victory in the WWE in over 10 and a half years. People wrote him off after his performance at SummerSlam. People either loved it or hated it. You got to give this man his credit. And you have to give Drew McIntyre. They're telling arguably one of the best stories in wrestling right now. And something that I noticed with CM Punk's story, and I want y'all to let me know if you agree with me, is the CM Punk story that we're seeing in WWE is this what he wanted to do in AEW? Now hear me out. If I'm correct, and like I said, let me know in the comments. If I'm correct, he had a trilogy with MJF. A regular match, a dog collar match, and there was one, I want to say there was one more match that was just there. Are we seeing the same thing happen with him and Drew McIntyre? They had their first match. They had a strap match, not a dog collar, but a strap match. And we're going to then get the conclusion, possibly Hell in a Cell at Bad Blood. Seth Rollins and CM Punk. Could Seth Rollins and CM Punk be what CM Punk wanted him and Hangman Page to be? Kind of a personal rivalry. You know, could we see some digs? Can we see some little things happening? I just feel though as if what CM Punk wanted to do in AEW, I think he's bringing it to the WWE and saying, let's do it, which is great, because now what it's doing is letting us see, damn, this could have been something good over there, but we all know what happened. So I just wonder, and because I was thinking about it, I mean, he even wore the same gear he wore at All In against Samoa Joe. He came out with the same attire, and a lot of people were, going and showing the side by side, like, hey, he came out with this attire at All In, and he's coming out with the same attire at Bash in Berlin, and wrestling fans, we all know some of us like to blow things out of proportion, and this may be one of the things that was blown out of proportion. So I'm happy for CM Punk. I'm glad he got the bracelet back. I hope we never really see the bracelet again. I hope not. I do think that if we do see the bracelet, I think Drew McIntyre may destroy the bracelet. And I say destroy with air quotes because I feel though as if somebody will, or the WWE will make a bracelet for CM Punk that is a replica of the bracelet that the young fan gave CM Punk during the signing. I think that they'll give him a replica of it and Drew McIntyre will break it, and that will probably intensify this rivalry to new levels, and that's where we get the Bad Blood Hell in a Cell. So that's what I think. Hopefully they don't go that route where they do break the bracelet. I hope they don't do it. I hope they just make it be a situation where CM Punk goes for the world title, loses because of Drew McIntyre, and it just creates this sense of intensity that Adam Pearce has no other choice but to make this match between Drew McIntyre and CM Punk inside Hell in a Cell, and that's how you get there. And I don't even know who I have winning that match, to be honest with you. Other takes from Bash in Berlin. Cody Rhodes does it again. I know the last episode we talked about how the wrestling community was feeling very unsure. Maybe few were starting to become fatigued with Cody Rhodes as the champion because there's no story to these matches. It's like, oh, Cody wants to face this guy, and I went through it all last episode. But after every premium live match, after every title defense, I always sit here and give Cody his flowers for putting on incredible matches. Now, one of my friends, Jalil, shout out to Jalil, who I'm probably like going to have to make him somehow a producer of this show, because if I was to show you guys every day, it feels like I'm getting a message from him, which is, listen, I love it, but I'm getting messages and photos and all this stuff about topics that could be potential topics to talk about on here. Some of them I do use, but one of them he sent me yesterday, and I disagreed with the statement, which was they compared Cody's title reign to Roman's title reign, which we've all said it's going to be very hard to do. It's going to be very hard to try to compete with what Roman Reigns did during his title reign. I mean, the man was the champion for 1,316 days, and his title defenses. And they said, I think it was 2 out of the 2 title matches that Cody Rhodes has had, he has opened up. Roman Reigns never did anything like that. We can officially say that his title reign is on a decline. No. Like I told him, Roman Reigns opened up at the Royal Rumble against Seth Rollins. That was the opening match. Okay? Because if I recall correctly, that was the same Royal Rumble that Roman Reigns and Paul Heyman reunited, because Paul Heyman was with Brock Lesnar. And so he opened that match. Now, let's look at the 2 times Cody Rhodes did that main event, a premium live event. Clash at the Castle, which was CM Punk was Damian Priest versus Drew McIntyre, right? And CM Punk came out to screw Drew McIntyre. So that's why. And Drew McIntyre, it was in Scotland. You're going to have the hometown, the country hero main event, just like you did at Bash in Berlin. If anybody thought Gunther was not going to main event Bash in Berlin, I don't know what the hell you was thinking. Even if you had a Roman Reigns there, and y'all know y'all know that's my tribal chief, but Bash in Berlin that was Gunther's moment to literally have that feel good moment, that moment where the crowd, and even at the end of the show, Kathy Kelly interviewed him in the ring, and he gave a speech to the audience. Like, this was Gunther's moment. Cody Rhodes, hey, this is your moment. This is your time. Cody's going to main event at Bad Blood in Atlanta, Georgia, where he's from. I've said it before. I'm going to continue to say it. Cody Rhodes needs that one story that will take his title reign to another level. And you do that with Randy Orton. And this is how you can do it. Because if we think about it, and I know I said it last episode, I didn't want Kevin Owens to become like the Big Show where he keeps flip-flopping back and forth. Kevin Owens is not going to turn on Cody Rhodes. What I see happening is Randy Orton going to Kevin Owens and kind of being like, why didn't you take advantage of this? You seen in the match, Kevin Owens it was a tug. Like he was mentally like battling with himself, because on one hand, he's sitting there and he sees that Cody Rhodes is ailing from a knee injury, but he didn't attack it. It was like, I don't want to do this. Like, I don't. And that's why Kevin Owens said, do not give me this title opportunity, because Kevin Owens knows, Cody, you are a true friend of mine. And I do not want to do what I have to do to get to this title, because we know Kevin Owens will do whatever he has to do to get to that title. I mean, A-Town Down Under talked about it. You have betrayed everybody that has been a friend of yours. He said the only person that I regret turning on is Kofi Kingston. He didn't even say that about his best friend, Sami Zayn. Like, real life best friend, Sami Zayn. He didn't say that about Sami. He said it about Kofi. And I think that he's not going to turn on Cody. Randy's going to be the one that's going to turn on Cody. Randy's going to look at Kevin Owens and say, you are weak. You are no longer the person that I know, the one that would turn around and at a drop of a dime, if he would, stunner his father to get to where he needs to get to. Like, that's the type of person Kevin Owens once was. And Randy Orton can say, you're no longer this person. You don't really know what to do with Kevin Owens at this moment. Write him off for some time. Take him out. Let Randy Orton take him out. Let Randy Orton be the one to take out Kevin Owens. And you now create this sense of Cody being like, what is wrong? Why did you do this? And then you see that you get this intensity from him. Now, I know Solo is talking big shit about how he wants to, he's coming after the champ, who is obviously Cody Rhodes. But we all know that's getting derailed by the tribal chief, by Roman Reigns and Jimmy Uso. Because guess what? During his promo that he cut, or the package that he did on Friday, he mentioned Jimmy Uso. So we are getting Jimmy Uso sooner than later returning. We have this happening. And then it will lead into, we already know, bloodline storyline, we already know where that's going. Randy Orton, Cody Rhodes, they need to do this. Now, something that the Ace had said yesterday, he had posted, he said it on Saturday, is he stated that the days of a baby face and a heel seem to be coming to an end, where you won't know who is what. And what I told him is, and this might be AEW's fan base is kind of doing this, where they determine who the face and heel is. It's not the company. The company may try to execute it, but then the fans kind of dictate it. Like MJF goes heel, but everyone loves MJF because he's their favorite scumbag. Then he kind of transitions to a face, but still has this heel. I think we're going to see more of tweeners than anything. You will have your legit fan favorites, and then you'll have the ones that the fans kind of like, nah, we don't really like them, we don't mess with them, this, and then third. But I do agree that the days of who is the clear-cut baby face and who's the clear-cut heel may be coming down to his final days. You know, I mean, you look at the Judgment Day, you look at Priest and Rhea, they started to gain momentum and the fans started to cheer for Rhea and Priest, more Rhea than anything, which is why they did what they did. Roman Reigns was supposed to be the biggest heel, but the fans started to acknowledge, no pun intended, that he is doing a great job at what he does, which is why when he came back at SummerSlam, he got one of the biggest ovations in the world. Somewhere in Greenwich, Connecticut, Vince McMahon was sitting at home watching that with a big ass smile on his face, maybe throwing like a drink or two out like in anger, because what he wanted to do for years is now happening. That ovation, that pop that he's been dying for Roman Reigns to get finally happened. And he, in a sense, had nothing to do with it. So that's why I said he probably was like happy, but then threw a drink or something because he was upset because he's not the one that did it. Congratulations goes out to the new women's tag team, Jade Cargill and Bianca Belair. I feel though as if they're not ready for Jade to take the next step in a solo run. Which I completely, understand, but she has been getting her reps in. The one thing I will say is during her press conference, I know a lot of people took the soundbite, took the quote, and just kept running with it, where she was asked a question about AEW, and Jade Cargill said, listen, I'm tired of answering questions about AEW. I'm here. I'm happy where I'm at. I'm thankful for my journey to get to where I'm at. I'm thankful for where I came from. But I'm over that now. I'm about the present and the future. And I agree. I completely agree with Jade. Let's stop talking about this. I mean, Cody has been with the WWE for 2 years now. And there still may be a question here or a question there about AEW. And Cody's real diplomatic, so he can politic through that. But like other people, they don't want to, I don't want to talk about that anymore. Because all it's going to do is it's going to clickbait, soundbite, throw it out there. The internet's going to go crazy. The IWC is going to go crazy. The AEW fan base is going to crucify said person who made that quote. Let's just get over it. She's moved on. They moved on. You know, I'm very curious to see where does the titles go from here. You know, there's not really that many tag teams in the women's division. Yes, you have Damage Control. Yes, you have Fruit of Passion or Passion of Fruit, whatever the hell Sonya Deville, Shayna Baszler, and Zoe Stark faction is. You have Kaden Carter and Katana Chance. I mean, you have Indy Hartwell and Candice LeRae, but they're not really doing anything right at the moment. Yeah, it's very hard. I mean, somebody did put out the two black girls from NXT. I don't think it's Lash Legend and the other girl from I forgot their names. I'm drawing blank, I'm sorry. But somebody pulling it out and said, I'm just saying, like, we should have this match, which will probably be an incredible match because you just have 4 incredible athletes, like legit athletes, because all 4 of them came from an athletic background. But I think that they're not ready. The NXT girls are not ready yet. Maybe, you know, what they like to do with the WWE is they like to have these fillers. So you may see at a house show, you may see them start to have matches against one another. And once you see those matches take place, that's why I kind of prefer going to more house shows than I do like a Raw or SmackDown, because you learn more about what potential matches we can see on the televised events, because this is kind of like their practice for them. Okay, let's see how we go and let's see how the crowd reacts to these type of matches. So maybe we will see that. But congratulations still goes out to Bianca Belair and Jade Cargill becoming our new women's tag team champions. And the Terror Twins, as I said earlier, they got their revenge on the Judgment Day a little bit. Someone tweeted out a story of how you continue Rhea Ripley and Liv Morgan. And I'm a fan of what I read. So basically what we have is Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan. Liv Morgan retains at Bad Blood. She continues to go on, right? Rhea Ripley wins the Royal Rumble again. We have Rhea Ripley, Liv Morgan at Mania with Rhea Ripley getting the rub. But Liv Morgan gets the spotlight because Liv Morgan was good on Saturday. I don't think we give Liv Morgan enough credit for what she's done with this character, with the Revenge Tour, with what she's now doing with Dirty Dom and the Judgment Day. We're not giving her credit. And Rhea Ripley has spoke in the past about how much Liv Morgan is appreciated, how much she appreciates Liv, how much Liv is doing such a great job. She actually did say maybe one day Liv Morgan should be a part of the Judgment Day, because she can see there is this badass side of Liv Morgan. Now, there's other talks that maybe we get a returning Charlotte Flair, because Rhea did, during her YouTube video that she did for, like, I guess they have a show on YouTube now for the WWE tattoos, and they talk about their tattoos, and Rhea has a tattoo of a skull. I think it's a Mexican skull. And she put a crown on it, and she says she got it leading up to her match at WrestleMania against Charlotte, where she dethroned Charlotte and took her crown. And I believe Charlotte might have tweeted that piece and had a response to that or something like that. They were talking about maybe Raquel Rodriguez coming back. And I know she has a health issue, but I do believe that she is getting better. You know, I know that it was something with her skin, and it's a really bad condition that, like, she had to stop competing because of this condition. So maybe we will get something like to derail Liv and Rhea, but I would really love to see Rhea and Liv at Bad Blood. Like, I really want to see that, but I want to see Liv get the one up, you know, because as I've said before, it's always fun when the good person is chasing for the title, not when they win the title. We see it with Cody right now, but Cody backs it up with incredible matches. So that will do it for this portion of Wrestle Talk with the Franchise. This was the Bash in Berlin recap show. Let me know in the comments, what was your thoughts on the show? What was your match of the night? If you had a match of the night, what was your OMG moment? As you know, I didn't have one, so maybe you did have an OMG moment that maybe if you post it in the comments, I may go back and look at it and go, oh, okay, I can see that. What was your feel-good moment, and who was your performer of the night? Make sure you leave it in the comments below. Make sure that you follow Royal Club Wrestling Podcast on Instagram at RCW_podcast. That is also the same thing for Threads as well. You can also follow the Ace at RCW_Ace. He has put out some new content, so make sure you go check that out. I will have a link for that in this description, so you can go check out his stuff as well. Like I said, this is part 1. I will be back with part 2, where we are going to dive into everything else in the wrestling universe. I'm out till then. Later.